and gentlemen, this is Jonathan Best coming at you once again from the Boulder Vapor House on the hill in Boulder, Colorado. And I'm excited to be here once again with you to bring you another one of my Battle Juice reviews, where we pit two similar flavors head to head to see if we can't determine some of the subtle flavor differences and to see if maybe we can find out one of these juices comes out on top. Tonight's juices that we're going to be reviewing are Jameson's Irish Vapor Juice Melon Medley and Adam Bomb Premium E-Liquid in the Sweet Melons flavor. I'm so excited to do this review with you tonight because this flavor profile of a melon blend happens to be one of my favorite flavors in the world. I mean, after all, when we think about those three flavors, about watermelon, about cantaloupe, and about honeydew, what's the first thing that comes to mind? We're talking summer cookouts. We're talking backyard barbecues. We're talking potlucks. We're talking get-togethers with friends. And we're talking about three fruits, often found in things like fruit salads and some desserts that help remind us of those cool, sweet flavors of summer. And how even in times like this, when we're in the middle of autumn, as winter is rearing its wonderful snowy head, we can remember some of those great flavors of summer and keeps us a little bit warm inside. Tonight's juices are really interesting interpretations on this concept of a melon blend. Like we said, there are definitely three distinct flavors that we're going to be on the lookout for when we taste these juices. We're going to be on the lookout for the crisp sweetness of watermelon. It's a very delicate sweetness. But we're also going to be on the lookout for that well-rounded, warm sweetness and almost honey-like tone of a ripe cantaloupe. But sometimes we have to appreciate those more poignant and sharp flavors, almost gamey flavors at times, that a ripe honeydew can give us. Now, when I first opened each one of these bottles, I noticed that they smell so unique and so different from one another. When I first opened the sweet melon flavor from Adam Bomb, I gave it a squeeze under the nose. I instantly tried to pick out which of the three melons was the most prominent. And I can say, in my opinion, I'm definitely getting a much more watermelon and honeydew note than I do cantaloupe. But either way, I'm getting a very angular sweetness, a very sharp sweetness that is definitely not citric, no acid whatsoever. But it's definitely has an interesting shape to it, an interesting nose to it. But when I opened up this bottle of Jameson's Irish Vapor Juice, I was blown away by what I experienced. Instead of sensing an immediate overwhelming watermelon flavor or watermelon scent, or the most overwhelming kind of honeydew note, instead I found that if I were to place a guess, I'm guessing that this is definitely a more cantaloupe heavy juice. But then again, let's face it, only testing is going to tell. And as you know with these reviews, I always put my juices into three different atomizers. I put them not only into a clearomizer, in this case a Pro Tank 2, but I also put them into both a single and a dual curl drip to see what kind of flavors I can pull out. When I first put Adam Bomb into my Pro Tank 2, I noticed it was one thick juice. And doing a little bit of research, I found that Adam Bomb juices are 70% VG to 30% PG. So of course that's going to explain not only the thickness of the juice, but it's totally going to help explain those thick and heavy clouds that Sweet Melons was able to give me. One of the things that I liked about that flavor was that it had this punchy sweetness. And when I say punchy, I don't necessarily mean like the active aggression. I'm talking about a blend of multiple fruits, a punch, as it were, between that watermelon and that honeydew flavor, both of which complement each other really, really well. I had a slight cantaloupe note, especially on the exhale, that gave a little bit of that sweetness to it, that tied the package together. But there wasn't a lot of that cantaloupe, to be honest with you. I definitely tasted a predominantly watermelon flavor with definitely a secondary hint of that honeydew. When I put it into a drip, Sweet Melons came alive as you would expect, blowing huge clouds of that sweet melon flavor. I really liked it. It's a great juice. But before I even start with my tasting notes on this Jameson's Irish Vapor Juice, I gotta tell you my verdict. Melon Medley is, hands down, the single best melon flavor juice I have ever tried. Jameson's did a great job with this blend. And one of the strengths of this flavor, I think, is that it plays up what to a lot of people is considered kind of a filler melon. Like, think about it. Any kind of fruit blend, any fruit salad that you buy at a grocery store is going to have predominantly a cantaloupe flavor. You're going to see large chunks of that yellowish orange fruit. But the problem with those fruit salads is that, well, cantaloupe is a tricky fruit to get right, and by extension, a tricky fruit to get ripe. But the ripe honeydew flavor that came out in this Jameson's juice was ridiculous. It gave that well-rounded sweetness, that warm sweetness that I would expect from that flavor. And let me tell you, that honeydew note that came up at the end, and as The Simpsons said, honeydew is the money melon. And it was completely not gamey at all. It tasted so wonderfully ripe. And there was only the slightest hint, the tiniest flirtation of watermelon in that juice, that I have to say, that juice is singular and unique. Let's think about it for a second. I live in Colorado, and every single day I get to look at those mountains, and as snowboard season approaches, as those mountains become more and more white, I become happier. I love the winter. I love how cold it gets. I love piling blankets on my bed. I love sitting out on my porch in the middle of a snowstorm, and I love experiencing that part of where I live. But the next time I do that, the next time I sit on my porch and I appreciate that weather, and I appreciate the coldness as it comes on, and I think about all those things that I love about winter, I could vape this juice. I could vape Melon Medley, and instantly, like that, I'd be at a backyard barbecue. I would be enjoying bratwurst and beer and delicious and wonderfully ripened fruit with my friends and having a great time. I always like to connect these flavors to personal experiences. And in all honesty, the one that triggers my memory the most is that Jameson's Irish Vapor Juice in the Melon Medley. It's ridiculous. Such a good juice. I literally cannot say enough good things about it. But the next time you're here at the Boulder Vapor House, and you're picking up one of these two bottles, first thing I'm going to tell you is to get both. They are fantastic, and neither one is going to let you down. You're going to get a really clever and angular sweetness out of that Adam Bomb juice. But that Melon Medley, that Jameson's Irish Vapor Juice Melon Medley, is ridiculous. So if I were to say that if I could only vape one of these two on a deserted tropical island for the rest of my life, Jameson's has me hands down. So thank you once again for coming in and checking out our YouTube page and watching our videos. Here at the Boulder Vapor House, we love hearing from you. So why don't you go to either our website at bouldervaporhouse.com or our Facebook page at facebook.com/bouldervaporhouse and shoot us a message. Tell us juices that you'd like us to review. Tell us your suggestions, your ideas, and I look so forward to hearing your voice be a part of our reviews. So thanks again for joining us. And remember, here at the Boulder Vapor House, we don't just blow clouds, we blow minds, son. Thanks for another flavorful review with me, and I really look forward to talking to you again. Have a great day.